that. There is no way we can be live yet. We're still in the green room. This is wrong. This is wrong, I say.
Oh, I like hearing about your salesman escapades.
Yeah, I
All the
started in
very
sales early, didn't I?
all the interesting products you have wrapped for.
We are not saying that on this show.
I think that is
Hello,
very
everybody. We're
interesting.
glad you are here with us tonight on the Thursday Night Live Dynamic Blue O show. That kind of rhymes. Did you know that was rhyming when we made that up?
What?
Did
You
you make
said
that up or did I make that up? You made that up. You made that up.
that's why I was wondering. You said we. I thought you had a mouse in your pocket.
Whee! Hi, Penny.
Oh, Penny was on Doug's book show today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Very
isn't that
cool.
awesome?
Yeah.
I hope Penny's gonna. We were talking about it on what a good idea it is to write a book or be in an anthology book or however you want to do it. We were
Right.
talking about that on the Avon team call too.
Cool.
So, yeah,
Cool.
and she was Doug's the expert on that, doing it.
Doug helped me immensely on my first book. I wrote it, and he did a little bit of editing, made some suggestions, which I adapted a little bit. But he and his team came up with that cover, and I absolutely love that cover.
Oh, nice.
It's cool.
I didn't even know he had cover people on his staff. That's awesome.
Oh, Doug can take anybody that's got a serious message, something that they've been teaching, like what you were doing. He can take anybody in that scenario and go from start to finish, everything from creating the book, marketing, helping them market their career, get their presence known. He way more than what I do. I'll co-write with people, and I do that on my own, kind of thing successfully. But what Doug does is more about creating an entire business model, and he's really good at it.
And Penny can say, "Oh, she said," and they asked me how. Oh, they asked me if I know Lisa. Doug's whole thing this time was 60 minutes start to finish. He took somebody through the process right there live while everybody was watching. And there's Maureen DeGregory. We were on a call earlier today. Supposed to be doing cards, but of course we were yakking like us girls do.
I'm Maureen.
Excuse me.
You know, that's hard to believe that you would do that. Maureen might, but to think that you would spend that whole time yakking instead of doing cards, I'm not sure I believe that. I think you may be lying to me. Because
no, as Peg, she always, whenever she's on a call that I'm on and I'm running the call, she always tries to get me back on track. She'll throw in every once in a while. Does that have to do with cards? Just throw that in, right?
I forget who was it that posted that meme that I thought was so funny. It had a picture of a squirrel and called it tree chicken. They're calling the squirrel the tree chicken.
I'm not even sure who posted. Might have been Penny. Might have been Eunice. Was it Penny? Did she see it?
I can't remember. I could pull it up on my phone, but I won't. But I thought that was so cool. To call a squirrel tree chicken is perfect. Everybody says everything tastes like chicken anyway. If you get alligator tail in Florida or Texas or anywhere else, they say, "What's it taste like?" It tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
So squirrels do too. Hey, Peg.
Hey, Peg. Yay. So you want me to show you what I brought to show you?
Sure.
You're gonna think this is funny, I think. Maybe not. So in what year was this? 2009. Okay, so how I ended up getting this opportunity to start with was the original thing I got was to speak at an event for Avon in England. And I'm pretty sure it was because I was willing. And I said this when we were on something the other day. I also could go by myself, and not everybody was willing to do that. So I went over there and everything. And the first time I went over there was when she saw me, that she brought me to Ireland. But I think it was 2008, the first time I went. And it was funny because they sent me first class, and they sent a livery driver to pick me up in a limo, and the hotel had 2 bathrooms. And I kept thinking, oh my God, when they figure out that it's just me, they're going to bill me for this. This is going to get billed and I'm not going to be able to pay for it. And I did get asked back again there another year, and I thought, they must know me by now. I'm not getting billed. Yay!
So funny.
But I think it was the first time I believe that the person running Ireland for Avon saw me at that event and asked me if I might be willing to fly back over to do one in. Oh, there's Mitch. Mitch is on. Yay.
Mitch is a good friend. Don't let me finish your story, but then I'll have to go tell you about Mitch and his family. They're
Okay.
great.
So the lady from Ireland came to me and said, would you consider going over there? So now when I got there, I didn't realize they set up a whole thing. And this is so smart of them to make it worthwhile. They came up with this whole scenario where I was coming over there not just to speak at their event, but I was researching the history of the company. Mm-hmm. Because evidently the founder had been over in Ireland. And I think Janet Leonard will have to say, because this is where I met Janet. But one of the owners, the founders, David McConnell, his wife, I think, is from there, and they traveled there. But anyway, so we went over there, and they had, what do they call it? Paparazzi traveling with us.
Right.
And they had the guy, they call him over there is, what do they call it? It's like a state rep. They call them TDs, but it's like either a state senator or something. Okay. They had, and he's the one that's related to the founder of Avon's wife.
Okay.
So he was going around with us. And by the way, he's not alive anymore, so I don't mind saying this, but he scared the hell out of me.
Talk about them after they're gone.
He was driving us around in this little car, and it was on a dirt road. It was like all over and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die in Ireland. I really thought I was either going to get sick or die, but we made it. But so they had all these newspaper people going around with us, taking pictures and seeing stuff. And it was just so funny because it was just me. And then we went into a store. This is the newspaper that was out before. This was out when I got there. We went into a store and it was out like this. These others came after. They mailed me copies. But this one says, this was a picture I had sent them ahead. It was a press shot. And it's Seymour uncovers the history of makeup. Seymour is the name of that senator guy. And it says, one of the top Avon executives in the U.S.
There you go.
It said executives here. And you should have seen my face when I saw this in the store, though.
I bet it was. I wish that y'all had pictures. I mean, phone cameras back then. That would have been a good picture to see.
Yeah, but when I got home, of course, there was a bunch of the coverage because they took a bunch of pictures. But this was in the Monaghan Post. It was a whole big.
I love it.
With me. And then in a different paper, this was what was this one?
I gather from that picture though that maybe you're not a natural bluehead. Just guessing.
Right. You don't get to check. And this was in the Northern Standard, right? I knew you were going to like that one. And this said, this is another picture, and there's Janet.
Oh, cool.
So there's the senator guy, Janet, and me. We were around together with all the press guys. So we were like going around in a car caravan with all these newspaper guys. That's the first time that has happened to me. And
look at what everybody else missed by not saying yes, and you said yes.
That's right. And because I didn't know that was even going to happen until I got there. Right. And then they're like, do you mind? No, not at all. Because I was thinking, however we can get the most mileage out of this, because whatever happens, I get to use too.
Right.
So, and then they did a big feature. This is Avon's, they call it the Emerald, and it's for representatives in Ireland. They also have a magazine. It was kind of like your Aflac magazine. Right. Then, so all of them in Ireland and England, and the employees too. But we were on the cover.
That's so cool.
And then we got a big spread inside too. And there's Janet with me. There's Janet. Whoop, there's Janet.
Very cool.
So it was fun. And I brought him a copy of the book. Um, that was Avon's, the History of Avon book that had just come out, and I'm
Hmm.
quoted in it. It's why I had it. I was signing and giving out books I didn't write. Shocking. I know you're shocked by that, right?
I think that is so cool. Those are lifetime experiences that you'll never forget, and
Oh, I know. It was
it's huge.
unbelievable.
So I
It
mean,
was
that
unbelievable.
is
And you know, it's funny, all three times I went to England twice and Ireland once, and all three times, by then I was already getting paid to speak. And they said to me, we're not allowed to do that because it's out of country. And the US and Ireland and England, all Avon's countries all operated separate.
mhm.
So they couldn't do stuff like that for whatever reason. So instead, they brought me shopping. So both places, and I remember back then, I'm living in the trailer park still, right?
Uh,
Wasn't I still? No, I wasn't living in the trailer park. Couldn't have been. Not in 2009. We moved out in 2001. But I mean, I wasn't doing that well yet anyway. But um, they gave me $1,000 to spend. And for me, that was a huge amount of money. You know what I mean?
right.
But 2009 in Ireland, I remember that we were the president of the Ireland thing went with me shopping, and she was so funny because she wanted me to buy fancy purse and all that for myself, and of course I bought baby clothes because Alex
Right.
was 3 or
Right.
4, so all I was thinking, I just wanted a bunch of baby clothes. I bought a whole bunch of baby clothes. And then she's like, really?
Oh,
They did.
it was your choice.
Right. And England, that happened too. And I bought matching mommy and kid purses at that stage of the game. Right. So I still have mine. I don't know about anything else. Right.
Oh,
But
I got
anyway, that
tickled.
was interesting.
Mitch Bailey had written in his comments. He said, "Chicken tastes like alligator." He lives in Florida. Mitch and I grew up in the same hometown. We're both originally from Dalton, Georgia,
Oh,
and
yeah.
his older brother Kenny and I were in the same class. As a matter of fact, in the 8th grade, Kenny and I used to run the school store where kids would come in and buy their pencils and paper, and we'd sell them stuff and all that. And then later, Kenny went on to be a football player, and I went into band. I kind of took a different path at that point, but he was always great. And Mitch was great. That whole family, they were just such sweet people, good people. Mitch is now a financial guy. He understands things that I would never have a clue about. I can count. I can count up to almost anything, almost. But Mitch is really bright, and his whole family's just wonderful. So
No,
good, good people.
we're around the same age. Of course, you're older than me, but
I'm way older than you. I'm 87 years old.
I'm 40. Yeah, but anyway, in our era,
That's
they
recent.
made a big deal about band.
Uh huh.
I'm surprised now they've done away with most of the band programs, and
They have up there. They have it down here.
they have up here. And matter of fact, even the high school I went to as a kid, that was the biggest thing was band. If you were in band, you could not be in band. That was the thing. It was a small regional high school, and the band
Mhm.
was the biggest in Western Massachusetts. It was like 500 people in the band, and we had all these risers, and we had uniforms that had the big things on them and the big buffalo hat and everything.
Oh yeah.
And they don't do anything now. It's hilarious. They couldn't get enough people to volunteer for the band.
Well, the school that I originally went to when I started in band was a little small school. I think my sister's graduating class had maybe 100 people in it. Mine might have had 200 people, but they consolidated two schools together before I graduated. But that's where I started in band. And the school was so small, the band director couldn't get enough students on the field for marching band.
Oh,
So it was supposed to be the high school marching band. So in the 7th and 8th grade, I guess it was both years, I was allowed to be in the high school marching band. And
oh, that's neat.
I'll never forget the first show. I was a trombone player at that time, and we did the military style marching. So there'd be times where you do an about face, and as a trombone player with a slide, you had to be careful because you had to either go down and around,
Oh
or you had
yeah.
to go up and over, and it would alternate so that you didn't bump slides. And we're going through this thing, and I had on trombone the farthest out position where you got your arm extended. The furthest is called sixth position, and I had to do an about face at the same time. I had to go to sixth position, and it's my first show, and I got on these gloves, and my hands are all slippery, and I go, and I do the about face, and whoo, and the slide goes
Oh
flying off through the air
no.
on my first show. And the guy sitting marching next to me was the section leader, a guy named Richard Ward, and he said, don't bend down to pick that up. I'll get it for you. And so we're going
Oh,
by. He picked it up, and I
Mitch
put it
says
back
he
on.
remembers it. Mitch remembers you doing that.
I'm not surprised. It was funny. And later on, when I got into high school, my band director that I had then, a guy named Bob Smith, passed away a few years ago. Good guy, but he was trying to get a tuba player because he didn't have one. The tuba player was graduating, and he said, Jeff, you're a good trombone player, and you probably could get a college scholarship on trombone. But if you become a good tuba player, there's a lot fewer of those. You're definitely going to get a college scholarship. So he hoodwinked me into playing tuba, carrying the heaviest thing in the band.
Isn't those big white ones that you have to get inside?
The one that I ended up playing there was, but that's called a sousaphone. But yes, that's the same idea. A tuba is actually all brass, sits in your lap and all this.
Oh, okay.
But we're doing a show, and we're playing the crosstown rival, which was North Whitfield High School, and they had a nice big band, and ours was good but small. And he was trying to do something because we were going to get massacred in the halftime competition, is basically the point. And so we're going along, and he'd come up with this, and it's time for the band to stop. And I'm the sousaphone player. I just keep on playing and going around dancing and playing this. I was playing all kinds of weird stuff on the tuba, little ditties, And the drum major, a girl named Robin, comes by. She says, "Stop! We've stopped already." And I just keep going, and I turn around and march right into her, and make her move out of the way. Finally, she goes over to the color guard, and she gets one of those fake rifles, and she comes back and she looks at me, and she goes like that. And the drummer went bam, bam, rim shots, and then I fall over on the ground. The sousaphone falls over. Then they bring a stretcher out on the field, and they put the sousaphone on it and carry the sousaphone off the field.
Oh, that's good.
Bob Smith was creative. He had this really strange sense of humor. He and the shop teacher were always pulling jokes. And later on, when it was they had consolidated high school, so it was a middle school at this time. He and the shop teacher decided for Christmas, the last day before the kids got out, they hired a guy to parachute onto campus that was dressed as Santa. Whoa. But they didn't tell the principal about it. They just did it as an outdoor thing. And
I love that, the naughty rule.
Exactly. And the principal pulled him in his office the next day or something and said, "What the heck were you thinking? How could you possibly do this? What if something had gone wrong and those kids had seen Santa Claus plummet to his death? That would have been terrible." And Bob Smith said, "It would have been worse for Santa." I almost got fired over it. He's there cracking jokes with the principal.
You were like, we had a guy, and I look back, he'd been doing it from like the 50s, and I went to school in the 80s. He was like a 30-year guy at the music department. Him and his wife, it was the Ellisons, and they called him Mr. E, and he ruled with an iron fist, that guy, but boy, was he good. And the 400 of us in band would run out from the end zone screaming, as the war cry or whatever it was, go out. And then we did California Dreamin', and we did a car where the wheels moved on the car. I remember that. Yeah, we did a bunch of stuff. This is all true. I was at the middle school at the time I saw Santa parachute.
You were there, Mitch? I didn't know that. That was so funny when Bob, I heard this story about Bob at his wake, actually. So somebody was telling this story. It was hilarious. Hey, Lisa, what did you play?
Well,
Okay.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I carried a clarinet.
You had to carry something, or they wouldn't let you on the field, would they?
I was supposed to be playing the clarinet, but I think I wasn't playing that much. But they let me do it because the girl I sat next to played really good. She played loud and really good and was on time and everything. Couldn't march worth a flip. But I could march, so I would keep her marching. I'm pretty sure they kept me around and if you're listening, it's Patty. Patty knows she didn't know how to march. Yeah, so yeah, we didn't have to try out for band or anything. You were at that school, everyone was in band. And matter of fact, when I decided to get out of band, it was a class for band. And I couldn't do Saturdays because I worked. I worked a job at a furniture store. And he said when I got my priorities straight to come back, he'd let me back in band. Because that's all he knew is music. I think he thought everybody was going on to a career in music, but yeah.
I should tell a story that's not very flattering of my behavior, but I should tell it anyway since you said that.
Oh, absolutely. Then I can tease you about it from now on. I mean, oh, did I say that?
Yeah. Oh, I just realized we haven't said hi to. Let's see here. Bye, Mitch. Glad you got on for a while. Mary and Penny up the Grove.
Up the Grove. Yeah. Actually, everyone calls her Penny.
Teresa
Penny.
and Kamini and all that stuff. Hey, everybody.
And paying the tax dollars is why they don't have band. Lots of people against that. And yeah, I'm just surprised though that the parents don't raise money for it or something rather than put on the tax bill. Because I kind of agree with that in a way, because my property tax here is 10 grand a year. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's even more than mine down here.
Well, and I think it's a lot for, like, there's not many old people. Once one of them dies or something, they literally cannot stay in their house because of the property tax.
Yeah.
Because who's doing that? Like my mother couldn't pay that living here. So, but anyway, I'm sure they don't fundraise or something for that.
We did a lot of fundraisers, but we had the budgets too, and bands are still really big down here in Texas for sure, and in Georgia and all that.
Well, anyway, you were a music man.
Yeah.
You sold instruments. I think that's.
I did.
I think that's awesome.
I started selling things even in high school. We'll tell you the story. Then we got to teach something. We don't want to waste everybody's time. We have to teach something. But.
Tell the green room story.
No, I'm not. I was an entrepreneur. Okay, now you forced me. I got to tell the story, don't I?
How are you going to do that, really?
I just hope my children aren't on this, watching this tonight.
No, there's worse things you could have been selling.
That's true. There are. No, I was between my junior and senior year in high school. I qualified for something in Georgia called the Governor's Honors Program, and basically it was all kinds of different disciplines: sciences, mathematics, English, history, all this stuff. And I auditioned to go in band, and you had to work your way up, keep qualifying. And long story short, I qualified that year, and we went off for 6 weeks to a college. In our case, went to North Georgia College in Dahlonega, Georgia, and it was an intensive 6 weeks, like a college mini semester. And so we were getting private lessons. We were doing all kinds of things, and I don't believe I'm letting myself tell this story. And I was a little bit brash at times. That was let's see. That was the.
That's shocking.
It was about a year after my father was killed in an accident, and I always say for about a 5-year, 6-year period, somewhere around 15 to age 62, I went off the deep end. But anyway, while I was out there, I got the bright idea that I needed to earn some extra money. And so I would go to the pharmacist store and I would buy some of those. Hold up that wrapper you had. People will get the idea.
This is not what it is, but it's that. Yeah,
they look like that, except they weren't that. All right. And yeah, I would buy them in boxes of a dozen, and I would pay very little for that because they weren't expensive. And then I'd go back to the dorm and I'd put word out that I had that I was selling them, and everybody would come up. I sold them for like $3 or $4 each, and everybody was buying them. I don't believe one single person was using them, but they all felt like they had to have one to hold up their reputation. Nice. So I was in sales at an early age.
Okay, just to I know this is not one.
Yeah, that's not one. That's something else.
No. This is the Surge one for it's like a energy drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now the other story that I was going to tell you, because you were talking about how the band director said when you get your priorities right, you can come back and be in the band because you've gotten a job. I was in getting my master's degree up in East Texas, and I was a graduate assistant, and I taught. I was a tuba player. I taught tubas, euphoniums, sub-trombone students. I taught a full load teaching while I was getting my master's degree, and I was trying to finish it up in a year, which included finishing my thesis, which was a symphony for brass, choir, and percussion. Had to do a paper analysis. I had to get all of my classwork done, and there was one course that was a required course. It wasn't an elective. It was a required course that I had to have for my degree, and it was only taught in the spring semester, and it was only taught at one specific time. I had no choice about it, but that meant that I couldn't be in the brass choir. No. And the director of the brass choir was a very talented musician, very I'm trying to say all the good things about him I can before I tell the rest of the story. he was a very talented musician, someone that I'll just leave it at that, all right? But I couldn't take his brass choir. And that was unusual because I was the tuba graduate assistant. Had it been at a time I could have taken it, I absolutely would have. I would have liked to have been in an ensemble with this man. Anyway, we're in the middle of the hall one day, and he comes to my office and begins to berate me in the hall that I'm not signing up for the brass choir. And I told him, I said, I won't say his name. I said, I have to have this specific course for my master's degree. I'm finishing it up this summer. I can't move that course. And if I don't take it, I don't get my degree. And he was going up, and there were students around, and I got the impression he was kind of going overboard because there were students around. And it was part of a play. He was acting a role, I guess, And finally, I'd had all I wanted. And there gets that point where Jeffrey can go from 0 to redneck in no time at all.
And refer to himself in the third person. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I didn't touch him, but I got right up in his face and backed him up against the wall. And I said, listen, you son of a, I am not here to take your brass choir. I'm here to get my degree. How dare you come here and start berating me in front of my own office? Get out of my face.
Oh,
I got evil. I got evil.
Whoa, get out the dump truck and lug them things around.
He walked away, and then I said, God, I hope he's not on my orals, my team for my oral exam. Because the last thing you do when you're getting your master's degree is you have your oral exam, and it's a defense of your thesis. And you have 3 people on there, and thank God it wasn't him, because I would have failed. He would have never forgotten that moment, and I would have failed and not gotten my degree. So we have killed 28 minutes. We haven't taught anything. We need to teach something. What are you planning to teach?
I wanted to talk about. I did do the graphic for what you get for the True Blue Book Crew.
Cool. I want to see it.
We have. I'm sure you do, and we all do. And I'm going to post it in the group immediately following this. Because I couldn't share screen. We tried already, but I can read you what they are. You're going to get a monthly card from me and Alex. We have an official certificate they're going to get, a badge for their social media, and a half hour of 1-to-1 coaching with me. And we've had 2 of the 3 already do that. The only one I haven't done yet is Peg. But we did Teresa Staples and we did Janelle Bixler already.
That's huge right there.
They were very happy. And matter of fact, Janelle told me the reason that she scrambled around and got certified for the True Blue Book Crew was because of the coaching. She wanted that as soon when she heard it. So
that's a huge value, because you think about what you can teach and what you've already accomplished and how you can pass that along. That's huge. That's to get a half hour one-on-one like that is huge.
Well, and it wasn't,
a lot of people would charge $500-$600 for.
Right. And it wasn't me teaching. What it was is I said, make sure you bring what you want us to work on. So they had topics, and then we sat there and hashed it out for a half hour, which I think worked out really good for the 2 so far. Yeah. Good. I'm a little bit concerned with the Duchess because she knows more than I do about so much stuff. We gotta pick a topic that hopefully I know that I know something about.
I could suggest a topic, but that never mind. Go ahead.
Hey,
How
okay.
to drive at 3 a.m.
Okay. Green room. Okay. They're going to get a Blue 42 gift, which is in send out cards. There's a special line that's called Blue 42. But the big things that I think are awesome, the biggest things, and these were your suggestions, by the way, although you may or may not remember them at this point, right?
I've slept since then.
Is a page in book 2, Blue Hair book 2, with the
Absolutely.
names of all the True Blue book crew.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes, and pre-readers. They're going to get to be pre-readers of book 2.
Cool.
So these are awesome. And then we're going to do random stuff. So every once in a while, when I have a good opportunity, an example I was thinking of, like the next time we're at an event together, like we were at the convention, if there's a way to have a VIP something, we're going to do like that. So
Cool.
it'll be Blue Crew Book Crew will get True Blue Book Crew will get special treatment randomly besides the stuff that's on the graphic.
Cool. And I know we talked about possibly having a green room session after the show. Just do it like on Zoom and invite everybody that's on the True Blue Book Crew there. Let them have the link, and would do a green room session.
Oh no, that's on there too. That's on there.
Okay, good.
Monthly,
right?
After hours. So it's not green room ahead. It's green room after. So
Right.
once a month we're going to have. I would say early access, but that's not. It's late access. Special access to the two of us after the show. For like
that means I could during that part of the show I could even refill my coffee.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Peg says, I have a good topic for us. She's going the same place you did with that, I'm sure. Oh, green room, True Blue Book Crew green room. Scott says, buy a second cup.
You know, Scott, I like the way you think, man. I do.
That is awesome. Late night shenanigans. Yeah, that's us. Shenanigans.
I think we're passing on the teaching tonight because we've already used up the whole half hour. But
didn't we teach something? You're like.
I think I taught how to do that long trombone turn and that chicken tastes just like alligator.
And see, no, the part I thought is when I was talking about the trips and stuff.
No, that's true. That is true.
The mantra back then and is relentless self-promotion. The reason I don't say that much anymore because that sounds bad in the go-giver context.
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe so. But I don't think so because relentless self-promotion doesn't mean you're looking out for your own interest. You just make sure enough people know what you do.
That's what it's supposed to mean is You can be successful if enough people know what you do. The only way enough people are going to know what you do is if you tell them. So whenever I'm in anything, I got dozens of the papers. Like when we stopped at that store and the paper was there and I was in it, I'm like, I'll take all you've got. And I brought it back with me because that's part of the, every marketing opportunity, whether I set it up or not, I'm going to try to capitalize on. I guess that rule has been my thing for months now. Scott said that. And
you know what JJ's favorite rule is? The rule of naughty.
Yeah, the rule of naughty. Yeah, and then we're on the go-giver call. Bob asked me to say the naughty rule, and don't I say it wrong?
You totally botched it.
I totally did not give the right rule. What was I even doing? What was I doing?
You know what you need to do? You need to make a graphic so it's there where you can see.
Right. No, so they got me going on the breakout room about how thankful I was to work with you. And then I get on the call, I'm like crying. What was that?
Crying clown came out of the trunk.
running out. It's like, oh, gee. Yeah, that's the part I don't like about that is like, unannounced emotions just running out free, just running around. Okay.
Lisa is also doing something for, just so you guys will know, she's doing something to help Bob and I on the launch of the new book, Streetwise to Saleswise, that he and I co-authored together. And she's helping with the graphics. And we'll have a Facebook group that you guys can join for that if you'd like. And so she's pretty amazing. I'm going to start calling her the graphic queen, but that could sound like I was using the naughty rules. So I'm not going to say that.
Penny already found the group. She was just
Was
scrolling around and she joined it. She doesn't want to miss anything, though. I don't blame her. Penny's right on the ball.
We're not really pushing into that yet. We're just
not
getting
yet.
set up. So.
Yeah. So we won't put a lot of content up there yet, Penny. And when we do have, we'll be putting it out though. So what's funny? I like to do the graphics the same. That's one of the things I like about send out cards. By the way, is matter of fact, the 10 card challenge is still on bluehairedcardsender.com if you want to do it. But I like the creativity of doing a card and doing the graphics, but I realize I'm not professional at it. When I run into someone who does that professionally, they make fun of me. But it's like, hey, I get the job done mostly.
Yeah. Don't worry about people doing that. They need better things to do with their time.
Right.
All right. We got to get out of here.
If we'd like, of course, we want to join the Facebook group, Jeff West. That's what Peg said.
Thank you, Peg. I just don't want to come across like I think it's.
Like what?
Thank you, Peg. Well, I always want to be respectful. Some people might want to join it, might not. So I just want to be respectful about that. But I hope everybody joins it. I hope everybody buys 17 copies of the book.
The book's going to be awesome. Yeah, I like that. And you know what I just finished too is The Vagrant.
That's a good book, isn't it?
That was
in the ending of that different.
I did not see that come in the end of that. I did not see that coming at all. Yeah,
don't say too much, obviously, but yeah, that's a cool ending, I think.
I was running a couple scenarios in my head of what could happen at the end, and that wasn't one of them. I didn't come up with that at all.
Yeah.
Janelle said, "Will it be available on Kindle?" Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah. Matter of fact, I think now when someone comes out with a book, Kindle's an obvious yes, and Audible's an obvious yes anymore.
Yeah, our plan is to have it every possible place, including an audiobook, Kindle, everywhere when we release it. We're just trying to decide the release date, and we still have to do the audiobook. Kind of like what you and I did, Lisa. I had written the book, and everything was pretty much complete on that, and then we began the audiobook process because you have to script that. And
I just think you'll be able to do this audiobook thing without crying. The crying, you won't have to put up with the crying.
I may be disappointed. Look, if Bob doesn't every now and then go like this, I'll be kind of disappointed. So Bob will do all his on his end. I'll do all of mine on my end, and then I'll put them all together. So.
See, you're going to miss all that drama. Oh, Scott wants to make Bob cry. Scott, that would be bad, Scott.
I don't think so. Bob's also about what, 6'3", 6'4". He used to be a boxer. I don't want to make that man cry.
No, well, Scott, Jeff didn't know he could make Lisa cry. So I don't know if he could also make Bob cry. He was surprised along with everybody else.
You know what's funny? You know how big of a baby I am when it comes to stories I write. I can't go back and read them and not experience the same emotion I had when I was writing it, all that. And I was going back today doing kind of the last rewriting, more or less, on the Streetwise to Saleswise. And I get to the end and I'm gushing behind my computer because I love the story. I love the story.
It's a really good story.
And so like I've said before, I tend to fall in love with my characters.
Are you going to be in New Orleans next Thursday when we're doing the show?
No, by then I'll be in Florida.
Oh, okay.
But I can do that. It's that one later in the one that's the week of the 15th to the 22nd. That's the week I can't do. So
don't worry, everybody. I'm going to have a sub you'll all like. You'll like the sub.
Are you going for purple hair?
I think so.
You two make a perfect combination. When she substituted for me that time before, I get blue and I get purple. I'm watching the replay. I'm just like, this is good stuff.
It's like the whole show was innuendo. Yeah, Scott said
In my
Jenny,
what?
Jenny back. Innuendo. Well, yeah, when it's me and her, we don't even bother with the innuendo. We just say it right out, right?
Green room.
And we're
All
proud
right,
of
we
it.
really have to go. We have
Yes,
to go.
sir. Thank you
So
very
thanks
much,
everybody. We
everybody.
love you guys. If any of you watching this have not yet posted your Amazon review, don't give up on that. Please do. And if you have already posted it, we appreciate you. Go post it again. I'm kidding. Don't do that. But we
And if
appreciate
you
all
need,
of you.
yeah, if you need a wristband, let me know. I'm shipping them out, and make sure you check the group page because I post it every day.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Scott Easterday, I challenge you right now to get your stuff done so you can be a member of the True Blue Book Crew.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder why Scott hasn't qualified yet.
I have to say that really slowly or it doesn't come out right.
True Blue
True,
Book Crew. True Blue Book Crew.
you named it. I love the name you did for the Streetwise thing. Though. I thought that was pretty cool. So we'll save that for later.
Oh, right. The street team. Oh, never mind. Okay, I know. I was happy with that. Okay, thank you,
That was a great
everybody.
graphic. I loved it. So, all right, everybody. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.